Hey guys, Energy in Motion is so grateful to have Benjamin Allen with us today, and we're stepping into his world. If you don't know much about him, he's a dancer, professional dancer, choreographer, businessman, a little bit of everything. And so please do follow him at The Beatbox LA and also at Groove 3 Dance on Facebook and Instagram. And if you haven't taken a Groove 3 class, you need to get on it because it is the time of your life.
So fun. It's the best.
I
We're
love
so
it.
excited to be here.
Happy to be here, guys. Thank you so much.
Can you share with us a little bit about your journey in dance and just the evolution of getting to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in Arizona, Tucson to be exact. Loved to dance all through sort of junior high, high school. I think really in high school is when I fell in love. I was invited to 7 proms throughout my high school career because the ladies wanted to dance, right? They wanted a date that could dance. So I got invited to all these proms. I went to like every, winter formal, spring formal. I was in youth group and we always did dances. And I was on the dance floor the entire time. So I think that's really where I knew how much I loved to dance. In a formal setting though, it wasn't presented to me. I think at one point my mom said, "Do you want to take ballet or jazz?" And I didn't want to. So it wasn't until college, I went to Arizona State University, and there was a hip hop class at the rec center. So in a way similar to what I'm doing now, where it was just open to anybody. The instructor was this incredible woman that taught that dance is for the mind, body, and soul, and that everybody's welcome. So that was like my first exposure to what dance could be, right? Not competitive, not intimidating, like, yo, whatever size you are, whatever race you are, bring it to the dance floor. So that was my first exposure, and that was when I started to learn how to do choreographed dance, like commercial choreography. So things kind of took off from there. I was in school to get my business degree and got my first paid gig dancing for a drag queen in Phoenix. Shout out to Davina Ross, right? That kind of took a life of its own because that was like a little side gig. I was getting paid to do performances. And then junior to senior year, I auditioned for the WNBA, the women's basketball hip hop squad. Got booked. Don't know how, right? Like I was probably the least experienced person there, but I just smiled real big and showed off what I love to do. And that was my exposure to everything else. The squad was a bunch of different ages, a bunch of different backgrounds. You had people who danced for the Suns, which was more, cheer, pom type. So now I'm like picking up choreography from them and learning different styles. So legitimately, by the time I graduated, I couldn't think of anything else I wanted to do but dance. So I kind of had that story like everybody else, like pack my bags, like mom and dad, thanks for school, I'm gonna go be a professional dancer in LA. And that was almost 14 years ago. And the journey has been incredible ever since. I mean, I could talk a long, long time about where I've been in between, but I know we want to talk about like where I am now. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, just the fact that I've been through a ton of different experiences and dance has always been the main focus. And as long as I have loved it and enjoyed it, then I will keep pursuing it.
I love that.
I love it too. And when you talk about it, you just have this joy.
It has to
in
be.
your eyes.
I know they sparkle.
They do.
I love it.
So what's the most joyful part of it for you? That part that makes you have that look in your eye?
Dance is something that you can connect with on a really deep level, right? Music and movement. Music being a big part of it because when you hear that song and you can't help it. I mean, every different type of music evokes a different feeling and a different emotion. And then the movement itself, that expression, most people would say like that's their favorite thing about dance, right? It allows you to express yourself. But you could have the worst day ever and walk into a dance class or really anywhere out on a dance floor somewhere and let it out. You can let out, it's therapy, right? You can just free yourself from all of those things that you're dealing with personally on the dance floor. So I think there's that component, but then also the connection. In my line of work currently, I get to meet people all the time through dance, right? As a teacher, as an instructor, I am now traveling all over the world and meeting people from different cultures, from different backgrounds, and they all sort of share that same love, and I get to connect with them in that same place. So the coolest part is getting to know my students, getting to find out their backstory, how they fell in love with dance, why dance affects them, and legitimately just like keeping that excitement going, and that love is what generates like all that passion and joy. So it's really cool.
Oh, it's so powerful. Or thinking back, was there something along the journey that didn't happen that hindsight 2020, now you're like, that's exactly what needed to be to get me to where I am today?
I think there's a lot of things that happen.
There was a devilish laugh there when you
There
asked
was.
that question.
Well, first was business school, was like, see ya.
No, I'm so thankful for that experience. I think having gone to college when I know a lot of people would take the risk right out of high school, I think I had a better head on my shoulders living in a city like LA. You know, I've seen so many people come and go. I think not because they're not talented enough, but because they don't know how to manage themselves. They don't know how to handle their money. They don't know how to live on their own. They don't know how to like time manage. So I think the school experience and the background in business has helped lead me to this place of like establishing my own company and building it from the ground up. You know, people love to talk in LA, right? Like talk up experiences and excitement. And I have been wooed by so many different opportunities, like traveling, teaching, choreographing things, that I thought this is my big break, right? Let's just say there was also something recently with Jillian Michaels. I'm a big fan of hers, right? She's awesome. They came to me. They were like, we want you to do content for our platform, for our channel. I said, great. We went into all these talks, all these negotiations. I presented my ideas, and ultimately they pared everything down to something they wanted. And I was about to do it, and it ended up falling through. So as much as I was disappointed that I didn't get the opportunity to work with her and for her, I'm so glad I didn't, because I would have been doing something that wasn't true to me. So I think that's always like the silver lining in situations like that, is if it's not meant to be, like, let it go, because there's going to be other opportunities, and you have to stay true to you and what you do.
Anna and I had the opportunity to take your class,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the worst day, and I left feeling
I think you told me that.
elated and happy, and even your energy was just amazing. What is it that you do that instills that in the people in your class? Because everybody, I feel like, was just in the best mood when they left, and I think it came from you. So what is that?
So we are in the process, I guess, of coining the phrase, be dope. And that's an acronym for a distributor of positive energy, right? So anybody can be dope, but we teach that in our trainings to our teachers, that as the instructor, you are the core of that. And your excitement and your joy and your enthusiasm then translates to everybody in the class. And if they walk out of that room and they're all feeling that too, then now all of a sudden they're passing that on, right? So just sort of that ripple effect of positive energy. I'm lucky in the sense that I'm pretty much happy all the time. I think people question, like, are you real? Is that okay? Is that real? Do you really like that? And I am, and I think that I don't have a reason to be otherwise, right? Sure, I get upset. Sure, I have bad days. You don't eat, you get hangry, all that stuff. But it is back to what we said, the joy of doing what you love. If you are in that pure place of this is me, this is what I like, then I think that pushes you forward and people attach to it quickly.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can also say that, like, I'm somewhat of a dancer, and I've had experience and taken so many classes, and like, your class is truly electrifying. And it really is. It's your energy that infects the entire space, and And it's really powerful, which is why there wasn't a doubt in my mind that you couldn't wait to have you sitting here with us.
So cool.
Because it's just such a powerful experience to be infected that way with your energy. And look, I imagine now you're faced with all these different opportunities. Is there a moment where you have to choreograph or where you have to create that you face some sort of like block or creative block that you have to overcome, and how do you overcome those moments?
Sure. Yeah, creative blocks I think are huge for artists, right? We always hit those walls. Like, I've been teaching groove and choreographing a new routine every week for 6 years. Over 6 years. So I hit points all the time where I'm like, that's the same move I did 2 weeks ago. We already did that one 5 times. So for me, I need to challenge myself and take other people's classes, right? I need to move my body in different ways that I don't normally move it, so that it can be re-inspired and shown, a little bit of a different path, because you get complacent in like what you do, and if you do it over and over and over again, right, there's no growth. So that's a big thing for me. Like, I get blocked when I turn into choreography sometimes. That's probably where I have my biggest block. So I constantly have to like watch videos of other classes just to be inspired. I think that's probably what's big for me.
You talked about that your mom said, do you want to take ballet or tap?
Mm-hmm.
Was she or anybody else really supportive in your journey to become an artist?
I have been extremely lucky because my whole family is so supportive. They've never questioned what I'm doing, and that's probably because they trust me and they know how much I love it. But luckily, as soon as I said I'm moving to LA to be a dancer, or I say, I want to start my own business, or whatever that is, they've sort of just said, well, great, let us know if there's anything we can do. So I'm lucky in that sense, because I know it's not the same. And from an artist standpoint, I've talked to way too many dancers who if you're not going to go to school, you're cut off, or, we don't support that. You're never going to make a career out of it. That's sad. It's not an easy job to make a career out of. It's not. I will never ever say like, yeah, everybody should do it. But I think everybody should try, because if that's what's going to fulfill you, I think there's a place for everybody to find something that will create that for them, create that longevity, and create like a sustainability in a career. So not easy, right, but possible.
So what is advice for people that are moving out here to try to be dancers?
Yeah. Education is a huge component. Like, know your industry, know the people that are in it, be nice to everybody. You do not realize how small this town is. So networking, but I also think network from a genuine place. There's so many people that just want something from you, or opportunities to get to the next level. I think partnerships and collaborations are the best way to do it. So if you can find like-minded people who go, oh yeah, I believe in that, and oh, this is what I can bring to the table, like, find that rather than trying to get to the top, in an unprofessional manner. I consider it an unprofessional manner. So education and stability. Like, try to find the balance and stability of what you're doing. Yes, you want to throw yourself all the way in, but you have to be careful, right? Like, not that you need a backup plan, but you have to sort of have other things in the works, like waiting tables. I did that for so many years in the beginning, because you have to, just to sustain, just to make sure that rent is paid. But I still take other side jobs. I still take other side jobs just to maintain my sanity, bring in some extra cash, and those lead to other things too. So I don't think you should limit yourself to one thing, even if that's your focus, but be smart about your decisions.
I love that you shared that. Because I think that's so, that could probably resonate with so many artists. As an artist, it is hard to find a space of stability, and so to know that you're successful today, and there was a moment in time where you found that stability in waiting tables, yet pursuing your dream. Like, that's just so hopeful and inspiring for anyone out there that's an artist in any medium.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been an easy journey, and I tell people that all the time because they see where you are now and think that it just happened. It did not just happen, right? It's been years in the making, but years of hard work and passion and dedication, and really sticking it out. I see too many people as well give it a go, 6 months, a year. That's really not a lot of time if you're really trying to build something, if you're trying to build yourself, I mean, even yourself as a brand, right? Like, give it time, commit to it. It's always going to change. We have changed the name of Groove 3. We have changed the branding. Like, it's constantly evolving, but we've stayed true to our initial mission. Like, this is who we are. This is what we want to do. So with that at our core, we've been able to keep growing. So.
You say we a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I know that you have a team of people,
Yeah.
a team of teachers,
Yeah.
a team of people that you travel with.
Totally.
But did it start, was it born from you and then you just collaborated and it became, or has it always been a collaboration?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as far as Groove 3 goes, I was teaching at Gold's Gym, and I was teaching at the Edge. So I had the everyday person taking class, and then I had the professional dancer taking class. So I was kind of teaching both. I was training people to be great, and then I was just being an outlet for people to let loose. The program director at Gold's Gym, her name is Irene, we had collaborated on a couple classes together. Her background is Latin, right? She does this Latin fusion class. She's all about being sexy and fun, right? So we collaborated on a few classes. Electric energy. We knew immediately, like, something's here. We've got to do more with this. And at the time, she was given more responsibility at the gym. And I was like, okay, I'm excited about this. I've got an opportunity. I have a studio that will allow us to come in, teach whatever we want. She said, go for it. You have my blessing. See what happens. So that was like the birth of Groove, right? At the time. At that time, I had a handful of friends that were just being supportive, just showing up to class because they just love to dance. One happened to be an accountant. One happened to have design background. One happened to have social media background. And the other one happened to have like a lot of admin experience. So as it developed, it was just friends. Like, if you need help, let me know. I'll work the door for you. If you want me to do a logo for you, I will. So thankful for those people. And 2 of them are still on the team, still friends with the others. So special. Because it was out of love. I mean, so in a way, yes, it was me stepping off the ledge, but I fell into a pillow of support, of people who agreed, this is needed. Let's keep building it. We're here for you. And they're awesome. Yeah.
That's a reflection of you, too, because I feel like you attract what you put out into the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, always.
Such a good reflection of what was meant to be for you, and you giving them that in dance and then being able to give back to you.
Say before we move on, because we probably won't use this minute, but like, or like me saying this, but it's just so, it's really nice to hear that because we've had that experience in this journey. And it's really gratifying and really heart-moving when your friends and the people that you love are like, we'll be there and we'll support you and we'll figure it out. And you're like, we're doing something right. Like, we're doing something right because it's just being supported by the universe and the people around us.
Yeah, it's affirming.
Yeah.
Affirming.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, all right, I guess we'll keep going.
Yeah.
All right, that works.
Well, in that same vein, from taking your class, you give so much to the people in your class. What are the big things that you get in return from teaching and from dance?
That's a great question, too. Like I said before, the connection to the students is awesome. And I know this is great advice for any teacher out there. If you are a teacher, your job is to instruct, right? And to connect with the students, know their names, know who they are. It isn't really just about you coming in and showing off, right? Like, here's what I do, thanks for coming by, right? To me, it's so much more than what happens inside the classroom, and that's how I've always been as a teacher. But when they open up and when they start telling me their testimonials, I mean, that's the stuff that, like, you get tingle, what are they called? Chills, yeah. People call them different. You get chills on your arms because you're like, really? From one class a week? Like, that's what that did to you? That's so special to me. Like I said, if one person says that, it's kind of all I need to keep going sometimes, right? So on my frustrating days, on those hard days that I don't know if this is going to work, should we keep going, do we keep growing, thinking about the service, in a sense, that it offers to people, where they go through breakups, disease. You know, I've had people come in from, battling cancer. I had a woman who was dealing with lupus, and she was literally like, coming to this class, like, helped cure me. So I think that there's a huge, huge, huge healing benefit beyond the physical. Mm-hmm. And we've tried to put that more at the forefront of our branding and of our mission, because I would say most dance and fitness stuff that's out there is like about how you look, right? It's about the calorie burn. It's about getting in shape. And to me, I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's how you feel. It's the joy that you are bringing into your life, and like, it's how you apply it outside of the classroom. So I've heard so many awesome stories, and to me, I'm like, this is needed. It's cheaper than therapy. It's like, it's a great way, and then we build the community around it. So now, like, these people have these lifelong friendships where they met in dance class. How cool is that? People who probably would have never met before, but now all of a sudden they're sweating next to each other, and they're like, yeah, it's my homegirl.
It's true. I mean, listen, and the fact that you have a DJ, like, what made you come up with that idea to have a DJ?
I totally forgot about that.
Guys, I don't know who has or not taken the class, but it's just so liberating and it's so freeing, and the DJ is like, there's nothing out there like that. What made you come up with that idea?
I think it was just something cool, right? Like, in the early stages of all of it, it was like, well, what if we had a DJ in class? Like, I honestly didn't know how it would work. I just had a friend who offered to do it. Shout out to DJ D-Rock. And we tried it, and we just kind of started putting it together, and we kind of found the right BPM range, and we found the right set of music that resonated with people, which is typically like this late 80s, early 90s, like pop R&B. There's such a huge generation, even younger generation. They know these songs. They will never get old. Like, TLC Creep, like Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It. Like, there are certain songs, they're like the wedding bar mitzvah songs, right? That will never get old. But now all of a sudden you're in a dance class format and you're learning choreography to them. So, yeah.
Do you have a life motto that you live by for yourself?
Life motto. I guess really, like, everything's gonna be okay. It really is. Even on in the worst of situations, there's always sort of a silver lining. There's always something that's going to come out of it, and it's gonna be okay. So that attitude that I have continuously carried throughout life, I think, is, again, what has kept me moving through all of the BS, like, especially in LA. All the no's that you get, all of the disappointments, all the failures of starting, stopping, whatever it is. Like, there's plenty of classes I started and they didn't take off. It's okay. This wasn't the right time, wasn't the right place. But I learned something from it, and now I'm going to move on. Same like relationships, right? All those experiences, you wonder, like, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. You end a relationship, right? But you learn from it, I hope, and then you keep moving. So it's kind of that attitude, like, everything's going to be all right. It's cool. We're going to get through it. And you do. That's human nature. So that's how I try to operate.
What did you want to be when you were a little boy?
I I remember in those younger years, probably like the bar and bat mitzvah scene, I remember walking around the table and like playing with girls' hair, like being really intrigued by like long, especially like curly hair. Like my sister has curly hair, and I was teased that I was going to be like a singing hairdresser. So that's not what I wanted to be, but I remember at a young age that was like, oh, you're going to be a singing hairdresser when you grow up. I do like to sing now, but don't need to do hair at all.
Has your family taken the class?
Yeah, so actually my youngest sister, we started dancing around the same time. We're 6 years apart. So I was in college and she was in junior high at the time. So we started dancing around the same time. She got certified in the format and she's teaching it in Denver. So she's got her whole little following now that's growing in downtown Denver. And I love it. It's so awesome to watch, like scrolling through Facebook and it's like, oh, check out Groove 3 in Denver with my sister. And we were all just together a couple weeks ago. We have one other sister in between us and she took the class. And she's not a dancer by trade, but she's got moves. And it was so fun to dance, like all three of us. And my mom's come, my dad's never tried. But yeah, my mom's tried it.
So I'm sure you have a lot of things coming up and going on. Could you share a couple of things with us in the audience
Yeah.
that we could see you do?
Absolutely. So Groove 3 is growing a lot right now. We have certifications. We're hoping to start traveling all over the country and hopefully internationally within the next year or so. So if you are interested in bringing it, even just a master class to your hometown or would like to get certified, you can go to the website and check out all the information there. One of the coolest things that I have to tell you guys about, we're going into our third year. We do an adult dance camp. So we charter a kids camp in Malibu. It's 4 days and 3 nights, and we have an all-star lineup of teachers who are teaching a bunch of different formats and styles. It is literally dance classes all day, and then we do skit night, we do campfire, we do pajama breakfast. Like, if you've ever gone to camp or ever wanted to go to camp, this is kind of like the coolest thing ever. So we're going into our third year. We got a lot of cool ideas on like how to top it, but we do a pool party on the last day. So it's called United by 8. Because that is where we all come together, right? In the 8 count, we all unite. So check out unitedby8.com. Tickets are on sale now. It's in September. That's probably like the biggest thing coming up. And then I will say too, we have another event coming up at the end of April. We do something called Iconic Groove, where how many music videos have you watched where you've wanted to like learn the original choreography? Or maybe you did, right? You were at home as a little kid like learning If, right? Janet Jackson. So I am now working with the original choreographer, Anthony Thomas of Rhythm Nation. He is going to do a masterclass with me and all my instructors, teach us the original choreography, and then through the Groove format, we're going to teach it for an entire week. And at the end of the week, we are going to stage the beatbox as much like the music video as possible. And you can come film yourself doing the choreography, and then we're going to throw the lights up and the DJ and have drinks out back. So that's coming up at the end of April. So some cool stuff in the works.
And you said you were going to Coachella too, because I'm sure there's a lot of artists that are going to be out there watching.
I had said before I do some side gigs here and there, and I've been getting hired to do flash mobs. I just did a 100-person one for Univision. And the one I got hired to do is during Coachella. It's Pandora's private party. So we're going to be going on right before Charlie XCX performs. So cool.
So fun.
Pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
This so fun. I'll let you guys know how the pajama
How it goes.
weekend
Sound
goes.
us up.
The last question is, what would you tell someone, an artist who's growing up that wants to be a professional dancer, like a couple of words of encouragement?
Yeah. For anybody that wants to be a professional dancer, always do it because you love it. You're going to get discouraged, and my thing was that I lost the love for it. As a professional dancer and auditioning years and years and years and years, I fell out of love with it, and I couldn't figure out why. I was like, I'm still auditioning, I'm still taking class, but why do I not love it? And I needed to reshift my focus and to figure out where I actually fit in the industry. So just know that if your dream is like being a backup dancer or doing company work, maybe that's not where you're going to end up. So be open to other avenues and other possibilities where you still get to do what you love and fulfill that passion. So I think that's the best advice. Like, always do it because you love it.
On behalf of Anna and I and Energy in Motion, thank you so much for having us.
My pleasure.
You had some of the most amazing thoughts, and I leave feeling so much more inspired, and I know that everybody that's watching this is going to feel inspired, and we're just so blessed to be here.
Yeah, we're so grateful to have
My
have
pleasure,
a
you
perspective.
guys. Congrats. Good luck with everything.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming back.
Thank you.
Thank you.